Buckle up for a mind-bending plunge into China, a colossal enigma where ancient dynasties, futuristic megacities, and jaw-dropping contradictions collide in a whirlwind of wonder. Spanning 9.6 million square kilometers, this behemoth of 1.4 billion people is a kaleidoscope of forbidden palaces, AI-driven surveillance, and secrets that'll make your head spin. From panda diplomacy to ghost cities, from Great Wall grit to organ harvesting scandals, China is a land where the past looms large, the present races forward, and every corner hides a story that'll jolt your soul. Let's unravel the shocking facts about a nation that's as mesmerizing as it is mystifying, where power and paradox reign supreme. Let's kick off with China's sheer scale. It's a geographic titan. The third largest country, it stretches from the Gobi Desert's icy sands to Hainan's tropical beaches, bordering 14 nations, including Russia and North Korea. The Himalayas, crowned by Everest's 8,848-meter peak, guard the southwest, while the Yangtze River, at 6,300 kilometers, fuels 400 million lives. China's got 33% of the world's rare earths, powering global tech, and 14,500 kilometers of coastline, buzzing with ports like Shanghai, handling 17% of global trade. But nature's brutal. 2024's Typhoon Yagi killed 600, and Sichuan's earthquakes like 2008's 7.9 magnitude quake claimed 87,000. Desertification swallows 3,400 square kilometers yearly, and air pollution, though down 40% since 2013, still kills 1.2 million annually, with Beijing's smog hitting AQI 300 in winter. History is China's heartbeat, and it's epic. The Xi'an dynasty, 4,000 years ago, birthed one of the world's oldest civilizations, giving silk, gunpowder, and the compass to humanity. The Qin's Terracotta Army, 8,000 clay soldiers buried in 210 BCE, guards Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb, a 56-square-kilometer necropolis. The Great Wall, 21,196 kilometers long, repelled Mongols but cost 400,000 lives to build. Dynasties like the Tang and Ming dazzled. China's GDP was 25% of the world's in 1500, but the 19th century brought humiliation, British Opium Wars forced unequal treaties, and Japan's 1937 invasion killed 20 million. Mao's 1949 communist victory reshaped China, but his Great Leap Forward, 1958 to 1962, starved 45 million, the deadliest famine ever. The 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre, killing up to 10,000 protesters, remains censored, with June 4th scrubbed from the internet. China's Communist Party, CCP, is a global shock, ruling 1.4 billion with an iron grip. With 97 million members, it's the world's largest political machine, controlling media, courts, and 1.4 million military personnel. Xi Jinping, president since 2013, abolished term limits in 2018, potentially ruling for life. Dissent is crushed. 1 million activists, like 2024's jailed journalist Zhang Zhan, face prison or disappearance. Censorship is Orwellian. The Great Firewall blocks 10,000 websites, including Google, and 2 million censors monitor WeChat's 1.3 billion users. Social credit scores, tracking 1.1 billion via 626 million cameras, dictate jobs and travel. Low scorers can't board trains. Yet the CCP's lifted 800 million from poverty since 1978. A feat unmatched, though 200 million still earn under $2 daily. Surveillance is China's dystopian edge. The world's largest camera network, with 1 per 2 people by 2025, uses AI to spot suspicious behavior, like jaywalking or protests. Xinjiang's Uyghur Muslims, 12 million strong, face genocidal control, 1 million detained in camps since 2017, enduring forced labor and sterilization. Facial recognition flags them at checkpoints, and re-education bans beards and Qurans. The UN's 2022 report confirmed crimes against humanity, but China denies it, calling camps vocational schools. Global brands like Nike, linked to Xinjiang cotton, face boycotts, yet 80% of China's cotton stays tainted. This tech-fueled oppression, exporting to 80 countries via Hikvision, makes China's model a global chill. The economy is a juggernaut with cracks. The world's second largest, with an $18.3 trillion GDP, China's 40% of global manufacturing, building 50% of ships and 70% of drones. Shenzhen's tech giants, Huawei, Tencent, rival Silicon Valley, with WeChat's $250 billion valuation. China's 1,058 billionaires, second only to the US, include Jack Ma, silenced after 2020's regime critique. But debt looms, $10 trillion in local government loans, and 2024's property crash, led by Evergrande's $300 billion default, left 20 million homes unfinished. Ghost cities like Ordos house nobody with 65 million empty apartments. Inequality gapes. Urban Shanghai's $20,000 per capita GDP dwarfs rural Gansu's 4,000. Still, 600 million use high-speed rail, spanning 45,000 kilometers, the world's largest network. China's one-child policy from 1980 to 2015 is a demographic bombshell. It curbed 400 million births, but skewed gender. 30 million more men than women by 2020, with 118 boys per 100 girls in the 1980s. Bachelor villages dot rural areas and human trafficking spikes, with 20,000 women kidnapped yearly for marriage. Aging is a crisis. 22% are over 60, and by 2050, 330 million retirees strain pensions. The 2023 population drop, first since 1961, saw 9 million fewer people, with births at 6.8 million, half 2016's. Relaxed policies allow 3 kids, but urban couples facing $50,000 child-rearing costs opt out, leaving 5,000 orphanages packed. Culture in China is a vibrant shock. With 56 ethnic groups, the Han, making up 92% of the population, dominate. But Tibetans and Mongols certainly add their own spice. Festivals like the Lunar New Year, which involves 3 billion trips, dwarf global migrations. Dragon dances and $1 trillion in red envelope cash flood WeChat. Food is epic. Sichuan's chilies hit 50,000 Scoville units, and Peking duck's crispy skin is an art. Street stalls sling 1 billion skewers yearly, but dog meat, eaten by 10 million, sparks outrage. Tea, 2,000 years old, fuels 1.7 million tons consumed, while baijiu, a 60% alcohol spirit, flows at 10 billion liters. Calligraphy and kung fu thrive, but K-pop style idols like TF Boys rake in $200 million, showing youth's global tilt. Wildlife in China is a thrilling paradox. China's 4,000 pandas, up from 1,100 in the 1980s, are a diplomatic tool, loaned to 20 zoos for $1 million yearly. But 67% of species, like the Yangtze finless porpoise with only 1,000 left, face extinction. Illegal trade, with pangolin scales at $3,000 per kilo, drives poaching, with 100,000 animals seized yearly. Tiger farms holding 8,000 cats supply $5 billion in bone wine, despite bans. The Guilin Dog Festival, slaughtering 10,000 dogs, draws 1 million protesters. Yet 27% of China's land is protected, with 11,000 reserves and 2024's rewilded South China tigers, 20 strong, signal hope. Human rights scandals in China are chilling. Organ harvesting targeting Falun Gong practitioners and Uyghurs supplies 100,000 transplants yearly, with livers sold for $160,000 on black markets. Whistleblowers, like those behind 2023's leaked hospital logs, expose state complicity. Forced labor taints 20% of global solar panels, and 2024's UN probe found 500,000 enslaved in Xinjiang. Censorship buries the truth. COVID-19's Wuhan origin, which led to the death of 7 million globally, saw whistleblower doctors jailed. Hong Kong's 2020 security law crushed dissent, jailing 1,800, with 80% of bookstores shuttered. Yet 90% of Chinese, according to state polls, support the CCP, a stat skeptics call coerced. Tech is China's rocket fuel. With 1.1 billion internet users, it's the world's largest digital market. TikTok's parent, ByteDance, earns $120 billion, but data harvesting alarms the West. 80% of US users' info accessed in 2023. AI leads. SenseTime's facial recognition tracks 1 billion faces daily. Space tech soars. 2024's Tiangong station orbits 400 kilometers up, and Chang'e 6 scooped moon soil. But cybercrime explodes. 2024's 1.4 million hacks cost $200 billion, with state-backed groups like APT41 hitting 20 countries. Digital yuan, used by 260 million, aims for cashless control, worrying privacy advocates. Quirks are China's wild card. The 12-animal zodiac, 2,500 years old, shapes 1.4 billion lives. 2025's Snake Year predicts cunning. Ghost Month bans weddings, lest spirits curse couples. Beijing's Forbidden City, with 9,999 rooms, avoided 10,000, heaven's number. Chopsticks, used by 1 billion, spark 80 million tons of wood waste yearly. Singles Day, November 11th, is a $139 billion shopping spree, dwarfing Black Friday. But spitting, once common, dropped 90% after 2020's COVID fines. And don't gift clocks. They sound like death in Mandarin. A faux pas for $1.4 billion. Environmentally, China's a paradox. It emits 27% of global CO2 with 1,200 coal plants, but leads renewables, 50% of solar and wind capacity, adding 300 gigawatts in 2024. Deforestation reversed, 12% forest gain since 1990, but sandstorms bury Beijing, hospitalizing 10,000 yearly. Plastic, 60 million tons annually, chokes rivers, though bans cut 40% of bags. The Three Gorges Dam, world's largest, powers 60 million homes but displaced 1.4 million. Wildlife markets like Wuhan's risk pandemics. 70% of zoonotic diseases originate here. China's a land of dizzying extremes. Ancient yet futuristic, unified yet fractured, mighty yet murky. Its shocking facts, from eager camps to panda loans, from Great Wall stones to AI eyes, reveal a nation as complex as it's commanding. Whether it's Shanghai's neon blaze or Tibet's prayer flags, China seizes your mind and doesn't let go. It's a place where history fuels ambition and every moment is a bold, unforgettable leap.